All right, so what's going on, guys? It is currently 1:32, April 28th. So it is draft day. Pretty excited. It's always one of my favorite days of the year. As you see in the background here, I'm not in my apartment up at school. I am in my room at home. So audio maybe might sound a little different. Obviously, the background's going to look different, but hopefully everything turns out right. The goal is just to get the mock draft in and yeah, so like I said, it's currently 1:32 or 1:33 now, I guess. So we have about 6.5 hours roughly until draft time, or yeah, 6.5 hours. Like I said, I'm really excited. No news has came out yet, really. I mean, there was a trade the other day that involved like fifth, sixth, and seventh round picks between the Patriots and the Texans, I think it was, but hasn't been any trades or anything recently. And everything's kind of just nothing's really been moving. I'm expecting some moves today, maybe before the draft. And if there is moves before the draft, I am kind of busy today before the draft, pretty much all leading up until to the draft, busy until about 8 o'clock pretty much today after 2. So if there is any moves and I do have some time free up, I will try to get another mock draft in. But if this ends up being the final one posted, then so be it. So here we go. Let's get into it. Number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars. It's 100% going to be Walker Hutchinson, and I'm leaning more towards Walker now. I think Trayvon Walker does go number 1 overall to Jacksonville. And then I think Aiden Hutchinson goes off the board at number 2 to Detroit. I think those two guys are going to end up being your number 1 and number 2 overall picks. I think there's a couple guys that you could slot in there to Detroit. I think if Trayvon Walker is on the board at number 2, I think he 100% goes to Detroit. But I think Aiden Hutchinson has the highest likability. I don't know what word to use there, but like highest chance, I guess, of going at number 2 if Trayvon Walker does go off at 1. It's 100% going to be one of those two at number 1, but I think those two guys is who you will see be the number 1 and number 2 overall picks in this year's draft. Number 3 at Houston is where it gets interesting. Their biggest need is cornerback, and Lovie Smith loves cornerbacks. I think I said quarterback right there. Their biggest need is a cornerback. That's not what I said the first time. And Lovie Smith does love cornerbacks, like I just said. I could see them going Sauce Gardner here realistically, and there's even been like rumors that you could see Derek Stingley Jr. go here at number 3. I don't think that's going to be the case because of their pick at number 13. And there was a report that came out earlier. This is the only thing that's really came out today about how Houston would move up back into the top 10 trade involving that number 13 overall pick if the right guy is there. Those spots, I'll talk about those spots later, maybe like of teams I can see trade back, but I think they 100% stay put here. And I think they go Ike Ekwonu. I think they put Ike at tackle or even guard. He can play guard too. I think they're going to move him wherever they feel Titus Howard fits best at. Because Titus Howard can play both, but has he been playing? I feel dumb now because he's been playing one of the two and he hasn't been good there. So they have Titus Howard listed at right tackle. So yeah, I guess that you could see Titus Howard. No, see, that's what I thought. They've been playing him at left guard. That's what I thought. I think you can see them move Ike into that left guard spot and kick Titus Howard back out to right tackle, his true position where he came out of in the draft, which is what I thought, but I wasn't sure. And you could see more success out of him also when that happens. At 4, the Jets are interesting. Again, I could see Sauce Gardner going right here. I could see Kayvon Thibodeau going right here, or I could see Evan Neal, possibly even Derek Stingley. I think all 4 of those guys are very viable options, and they can really surprise somebody and go Garrett Wilson right here. This is actually really a tough pick, honestly. And I think this is where I'm going to go Kayvon Thibodeau at 4. I like that pick. Edge rusher out of Oregon. I honestly still think he might be the best player in the draft. Him and Ike Ekwonu, I think, are my 2 top guys on this draft. I like that pick at 4. You could also see them getting Jermaine Johnson at 10, but I don't think he's going to be there. I also could see them trading out of that 10 spot. At 5, the Giants, their first pick, they're definitely keeping. Their second pick, I could see them trading, but it's a no-brainer right here. Evan Neal sitting on the board. You got to take Evan Neal. Evan Neal also, like Ike Ekwonu, can play some guard. So if you want to put him at a guard position, you can, but he's primarily a left tackle. I think Andrew Thomas has been playing right tackle. So then you have those 2 guys, cornerstones of your offensive line, both tackle positions for years to come. That'd be awesome for the Giants because they really need some offensive line help. At 6, I still think quarterback is a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen with Charles Cross on the board. Now, if all 3 tackles are off the board, Ike, Evan Neal, and Charles Cross, I think it gets interesting. I think you see them either pick a quarterback or trade back. And I think they could trade back anyways, no matter who's on the board here. Unless Neal or Ike's there, I think they take one of them. But if it's just Charles Cross in here, I could see them trading back. But I can't do trades. I think I've mentioned that a million of times. I can't do trades because it's like a premium subscription thing on this website, and I am not going to pay that. So Charles Cross at 6 to the Panthers. I like it. I think it's very realistic. 7, I think the Giants 100% could trade out of this spot. Will they? I don't know. Depends on who's on the board. Right here, it's interesting because Sauce, Stingley, Kyle Hamilton, Jermaine Johnson are probably the main guys here. But I just think you can't let Sauce Gardner fall any farther. Sauce Gardner at 7 to the Giants. I like it. It makes too much sense. 8, the pick here has got to be Garrett Wilson for the Falcons. It has to be. I could also see them trading back just because there's like a plethora of like 5, 6, 7 receivers that are all really first-round talents that could really make an impact on the Falcons. But I just think it's too good to be true. You get the best receiver in the draft. I think he's the best receiver in the draft, not by far, but by a decent amount. I think he is the best wide receiver in this draft. At 9, Seattle Seahawks. If there was a tackle on the board here, I think they go there. But it's way too early to take Trevor Penning. I think with Jermaine Johnson sitting here, it's a pretty easy pick for the Seahawks there. Seahawks take Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher out of Florida State, former Georgia Bulldog, also at 9. At 10, again, too early to take Trevor Penning. Derek Stingley Jr. is sitting here, though. I think that is the pick. Oh, but I could also see them going wide receiver. This is a tough pick because there's going to be good wide receivers sitting at the beginning of the second round, I think, when they get their second round pick. But there's also going to be some good corners sitting there too, probably. I think I'm going to go Drake London right here at 10 to the Jets. I think it's a good pick. Now, if they get Deebo Samuel at some point today, it's not going to be a wide receiver, I don't think. But who knows what's going on with that. They said earlier, there was a report earlier that said it's not dead or ain't dead, and according to Bleacher Report. So, yeah. At 11, Washington, Jameson Williams, Derek Stingley Jr., Kyle Hamilton all sitting here. All really, really interesting options. I think they go Kyle Hamilton, though. I just can't let Kyle Hamilton fall any farther. I think he's a top 5 player in this draft. And it just makes too much sense. And if he doesn't go there and they go Stingley, I could see him going right after to Minnesota. But I think Kyle Hamilton, Derek Stingley are like the locks almost here at 11 and 12, depending on which way it goes. Don't know. But as long as one of them doesn't go before 11 and 12, I think those are definitely the picks there. And now it's interesting because I don't think the Texans go Trent McDuffie. I think if Kyle Hamilton or Derek Stingley Jr. are sitting at 13, they do go one of those two. And this is just a really, really tough pick because I don't see them going wide receiver. You got Brandon Cooks. You got Nico Collins, who didn't have a bad year last year as a rookie. Obviously, you're not going to running back. They're not going to go quarterback. They're not going to go safety. unless they really like Daxton Hill, I could see them possibly going and getting Daxton Hill here, but I don't think it happens. I think the best option here is they go best player available and they get Jordan Davis at 13, which is interesting because then that takes him away from the Ravens, who I could 100% see the Ravens taking him. But yeah, and then this is where it gets interesting. I think that the Ravens take Zion Johnson here at 14. A guy that at the beginning of my mock drafts, I don't think I even knew what his name was. And now I have him going 14th on draft day. So very interesting. He's got versatility. He can play tackles and guard positions. So they need him to play tackle. He can. But I think he's a guy that you plug in somewhere and he'll play pretty quickly. At 15, the pick has to be Jameson Williams. If you don't take Jameson Williams, the Saints are. But I love the fit with Jameson Williams. Getting back with his boy, Devontae Smith. Wow, he didn't even play with Devontae Smith, did he? Wow. I don't – did he play with Devontae Smith? I get Williams and Mechie just like mixed up all the time with it. Yeah, he didn't even play with Devontae Smith. I'm so dumb. For some reason those two always are the same in my head. But okay, yeah, sorry. Jameson Williams was the Ohio State transfer. Okay, so yeah, Jameson Williams though at 15, he's so talented. I really like this pick. You pair him with Devontae Smith. I think they're like very similar players, honestly. And for how much I hate to say this, Jalen Hurts has to do something this year. I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's really good, but he's just people do not like him. And if he doesn't do something this year, he might not be the quarterback in Philadelphia next year, honestly. At 16, I think this is where you see the Saints take Trevor Penning. Because if they don't, the Chargers are going to take him at 17, 100% if he's there, I think. So I'm going to go Trevor Penning at 16 to the Saints. I would say they'd go receiver, but then I don't really see the Chargers or the Eagles going receiver at 17 or 18. So then they can just get that receiver at 19. And like I said, if they don't take Trevor Penning, I think the Chargers do. And so now with Trevor Penning off the board, I think the Chargers go Devontae Wyatt, interior defensive lineman out of Georgia at 17. It's a really good pick for them. And then at 18, I think you see the Eagles go pick up Trent McDuffie. So they go wide receiver at 16 or at 15, sorry, and then get a corner at 18. Opposite sides of the ball, help at positions of need. Really good picks for them. And then, like I said, Saints get that receiver that they could have got at 16, but they get him at 19. And Chris Olave, wide receiver, Ohio State. Connection just makes too much sense. They love Ohio State players. And then it's 20. My Pittsburgh Steelers don't have the post. I think I used to have a Steelers poster on my wall, but I think it fell off. I was going to show that real quick, but I guess not. My Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, here's the thing. I don't really see the need for us to go quarterback, especially in the first round with a bunch of positions of need. If Trent McDuffie was on the board here, I would 100% take him. If we didn't re-sign Terrell Edmonds the other day, I would 100% take Daxton. But now that both of those things are happened, I think the pick right here is Malik Willis at 20. I'm at peace with that one, and he's the only quarterback that I am at peace of us taking in the first round. I'm going to be honest. If we pick a quarterback in the first round and it is not Malik Willis, I will be upset with the Steelers organization. There's nothing I can do about it, but I will be upset as a fan. Now, would I be as upset in the long run if the quarterback does good? No. But at the time, I will be upset. Anyways, enough about the Steelers. Malik Willis, good pick. At 21, this is a weird one. I think they go linebacker. I've been on a receiver corner away from them, but I think it's a linebacker pick now. And Devin Lloyd sitting here, it's got to be Devin Lloyd. I mean, he's so good. Devin Lloyd is so good. I think it's an easy pick for them at 21 for the Patriots. At 22, I think I've stuck with this pick for a long time. It's Traylon Burks at 22 to the Packers. There's just it just makes way too much sense. Way too much sense. And then at 23, I am going to go Andrew Booth Jr. I like him over Kyer Elam still. I am going to take him over him. I think it's a really good pick for the Cardinals. Andrew Booth Jr. at 23, cornerback out of Clemson. 24, if you look at the Cowboys' needs over here on the left side, team needs edge, safety, wide receiver. You would think, okay, Daxton Hill, Jahan Dotson, George Karlaftis. I'm not taking any of them. I'm actually going Kenyon Green to plug in and play at left guard. He's really good. He's prepared. He can learn from some of the best offensive linemen in the league, and join an elite squad. That's always their good players always stem from an offensive line, good offensive line standpoint. So I think that's makes a lot of sense for them. I don't really get the receiver pick here at 24. A lot of people like receivers. A lot of people like edge rushers. I don't get an edge rusher pick here either. I think if they go somewhere, it will be safety or it will be offensive line. At 25, it's interesting with the Bills. I think they go Kyer Elam here, but I could see a receiver or even them surprising a ton of people and taking Brees Hall or Kenneth Walker III. But with Kyer Elam sitting here, him and Kyler Gordon are like the last two corners with first-round grades for me. And I just think it makes way too much sense. They have a glaring need there. He goes and joins Tre'Davious White and, learns from Tre'Davious White, who's one of the best corners in the league. I think it's a good pick for them at 25. Kyer Elam, cornerback, Florida to the Buffalo Bills. At 26, the Tennessee Titans, the quarterback build is really starting to go up with them here. And I don't think they do it. I think if they take a quarterback, it is later, but their need at left tackle is huge for them. Huge. I know their need at wide receiver and linebacker is also huge. Jahan Dotson is a really, really viable option here. Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, really viable options here. But my pick, it's going to be a guy that can play left tackle, and Tyler Smith, interior offensive lineman out of Tulsa. I think there's about 3 or 4 guys that can sneak in this 20 or 22 back to 32 range that aren't necessarily considered first round picks, like Tyler Smith, like one of these quarterbacks like Sam Howell, like Jahan Dotson, Lewis Cine, Nakobe Dean. I don't know if y'all consider them first round picks. Kyler Gordon. I think David Ajabo could sneak in here. Quay Walker, Jaquan Brisker, Sky Moore, one of these running backs, Kendall Walker, Brees Hall, Arnold Ebiketie. I think George Pickens. I mean, I'm about to ruin my pick, but I think George Pickens goes first round. Anyways, 27. It's the Buccaneers, and again, Daxton Hill. I think Daxton Hill is top 20, borderline top 20, if not top 20 player in this draft. And it's another safety needed team, but I just don't think that they take him. I just don't see it. I think they go Tyler Linderbaum or Kenyon Green if he's there. But I'm going to do it. I can't let him fall any farther. Daxton Hill at 27 to the Buccaneers and joins Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, joins Carlton Davis, Jamal Dean, Sean Murphy-Bunting, and who we saw an injured secondary last year. I think is a really, really good pick for them and just boost their already good secondary even more. At 28, it's the Packers. Shout out my boy Bingle. He loves Logan Hall here, but I can't do that. I cannot take Logan Hall over George Karlaftis. I think it is an edge rusher at 28. I think I've entertained this idea before. I could even see them taking David Ajabo and letting him sit. I mean, he'd be healthy by the time the playoffs come around, I'm pretty sure. I mean, imagine a rookie coming in there and making a huge impact in the playoffs for the Packers in Lambeau Field. I mean, that could kickstart his career even farther than it already can go. But I think it's George Karlaftis at 28, edge rusher out of Purdue to the Packers. At 29, it gets really interesting, right? It gets really interesting. At 29, you could see Boye Mafe. You could see Kyler Gordon. I think you could even see a linebacker or a safety here. But my first pick for the Kansas City Chiefs at 29, I've been on the Sky Moore wave. And you might call me crazy for picking this guy over Christian Watson, Sky Moore, and Jahan Dotson, but I'm taking George Pickens. The reason why is they can afford for George Pickens off-field issues or injuries to take a toll on his NFL career. They already have 3 solid wide receivers. Not solid, but good, competent. 3 competent NFL wide receivers with Patrick Mahomes. And Andy Reid's not going to put up with George Pickens off-field, stuff. Patrick Mahomes not going to put up with it. Travis Kelce not going to put up with it. This team is experienced now. This team is ready to win another Super Bowl. This team is I mean, I would almost call them veterans. Some of the guys are young, but they're veterans at this point. They've been around. They've been in the playoffs. They've won a lot of games. And I think that they can take a guy like George Pickens under their wings and really coach him up and mentor him to be the talent that he is. What will he be that talent? We don't know. Nobody knows. But he has so much potential. So much potential. And if it wasn't for his off-field issues and his injury concerns, he might be the first receiver taken off the board in this draft. Anyways, enough with the George Pickens talk. At 30, I could see them going Kyler Gordon here realistically. I really do. But I think the pick is Boye Mafe. No, it's not. The pick right here is going to be David Ajabo, I think. Again, a type like I was talking with the Packers earlier. He comes back for the playoffs problem. And you need that edge help. I like it. And the same with George Pickens. You can afford for him to not be what he's supposed to be. I like those picks, 29 and 30. They get George Pickens and David Ajabo, both kind of experiment players almost. At 31, I love Kyler Gordon right here at 31. Big physical corner, press corner. They need a cornerback. They also need a safety. They also need probably a lineman. I like Tyler Linderbaum with Lewis Seen here, but I think Tyler Linderbaum and maybe Lewis Seen fall out round. At 32, I'm starting to like a quarterback pick better here with Ritter and Pickett sitting on the board, but I'm not going to do it. I think I'm going to go Jahan Dotson here. I'm between Jahan Dotson, Lewis Seen, and Nakobe Dean in a quarterback. I'm going to keep it how I've been. I'm going to keep rocking with where I've been at. Lewis Seen, safety out of Georgia at 32 to the. Let's go back over this real quick. Jacksonville Jaguars, Trayvon Walker. Lions, Hutchinson. Texans, Aquanu. Jets, Thibodeau. Giants, Neal. Panthers, Cross. Giants, Gardner. Falcons, Wilson. Seahawks, Johnson. Jermaine Johnson. Jets, Drake London. Washington, Commanders, Kyle Hamilton. Checking my phone real quick. Okay, no. Well, we do have one report through Bleacher Report and NFL Network. There's a belief Howie Roseman, the Eagles, is trying to get into the top 10 for Kayvon Thibodeau. That's interesting. Washington Commanders, Kyle Hamilton. Minnesota Vikings, Derek Stingley Jr. Houston Texans, Jordan Davis. Ravens, Zion Johnson. Eagles, Jameson Williams. Saints, Trevor Penning. Chargers, Devontae Wyatt. Eagles, Trevor Duffy. Saints, Chris Olave. Steelers, Malik Willis. Patriots, Devin Lloyd. Packers, Traylon Burks. Cardinals, Andrew Booth. Cowboys, Kenyon Green. Bills, Kyer Elam. Titans, Tyler Smith. Buccaneers, Daxton Hill. Packers, George Karlaftis. Chiefs get George Pickens and David Ajabo. Bengals, Kyler Gordon, and the Detroit Lions take Lewis Seen. So that is my final mock draft. It's been a pleasure always doing these. It's always so fun. Again, it's draft day. It's 1:57 currently. We're about 3 minutes away from being 6 hours out. And whoever your favorite team is, I hope they draft who you want. I hope the Steelers draft who I want. I will be putting out more videos after the draft. Usually I do a 2-rounder here. I'm not going to this year. I'm just going to do a 1st rounder. And I think, let me think about this real quick. I think what I'm going to do after the draft is over, I'm going to do breakdown, grade, and reviews all in one video, all by division. So AFC East, AFC West, AFC. So 8 videos of that, probably every 2 days, I think, is what I'm going to look at doing. And then after that, I will be doing, I think I will be doing predictions and all that as training camp and all that comes back around. But yeah, I guess that's it. It's draft day. I'm really excited. Like I've already said a bunch of times. And like I said, I hope your team drafts who you want to. And like I said, it's always a joy making these. I love doing these videos, even though I'm no expert at all, but I try my best. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching. Peace.